What's going on, guys? I have 2 words to tell you before I start. 2 words that no YouTuber ever wants to have to tell his subscribers. I'm sick. So sick, in fact, I would love nothing more than just hop into bed and go to sleep. But because I have a weekly countdown thing going on now, the show must go on. But do you guys know what I love more than laying in bed, resting up, drinking plenty of fluids to make sure I actually get better? That's boobs. I think we can all pretty much agree that boobs make the world go round, am I right? And if you're a female watching this video, I don't see why you're even watching this video. Why aren't you just fondling your boobs right now? Best case scenario, there's some female out there right now doing both. But let me say before I start this list, this was the hardest list that I've ever done. Just by thinking of the topic, top 10 sexiest females of fairy tale, you wouldn't think this list would be that hard. But oh, that's where you're wrong. You can make up this entire top 10 list with just females from the actual fairy tale guild, not including some of the villains, other guild members, etc., etc. There are a lot of females in this series, and I really didn't realize how many attractive females there are in this until I actually sat down and researched as many fairy tale females as I can. With all that being said, no doubt I'm going to have to make a part 2 of this, so there will be a second part of the top 10 sexiest females of fairy tale. So that in total will be a top 20, because 10 just isn't enough, because I've had to take some females off, put some on. Like, you have no idea how many times I've moved this list around just because I'm like, oh, she's pretty hot, she could take the place of such and such. It's like, oh man, it's like this series is nothing but fan service. So yes, I will be making a part 2 to this, but it will not be next Sunday, because next Sunday's countdown is going to be way more sad. And with all this being said, let me say that this top 10 is my opinion and it's based on my tastes. So do not get angry at me if your pick is not on this top 10, because like I said, there's a lot of females to choose from. Who knows, they might be on my next top 10 of this exact same topic. So instead of getting all butthurt, let me know down in the comments who your top 10 is. I mean, it's almost impossible to just choose 10 and only 10 from fairy tale. So enough of the stalling. Here's my list of the top 10 sexiest females of fairy tale, part 1. jbDA's waifu, Leve. It's easy to overlook Leve when the series is full of, let's see whose boobs we can expose the most while also keeping this a shonen manga. This is a shonen manga, right? But anyway, Leve was one of the ones I would have counted out about a year or 2 ago if I made this list back then. Not because her lack of pillows, but because I always considered her more like a sister or a protector, if you will. You know, like the cousin you like to hang with, but don't like that. At least I hope not. But I don't know what it's been lately, whether it was her basically making quite the literal Iron Dragon Slayer suddenly have a soft heart, or just seeing how affectionate she can be towards someone she really cares about. Whatever it is, it made me go, you know, Leve is pretty damn awesome. She seems like the type that'd do anything for a partner, even at the cost of her own well-being or even her life. What she lacks in features, she more than makes up for it in heart. And everyone knows a big heart is the sexiest thing a woman can have. Sometimes. Okay, boobs are by the heart, so same thing. The sexiest demon I've ever seen. God, I never thought I'd have a reason to say that. Sailor. Yeah, I know she's a villain, but come on. God damn, she's hot. Nothing wrong with a bad girl every now and then, right? Although I'm pretty sure she'd either kill me or put me in some sort of DBZ pod and turn me into a demon. And you know what? I love every second of it. Who wouldn't serve under her? I mean, just look at this. And did I mention her demon form is topless? I think. If she is topless, she has a very blatant lack of nipple. But she gets some cool new tattoos, so that makes up for it, kinda. And also some cool MC Hammer pants. Some may argue Kyoka is the better looking of the demon duo, but I say, I understand, but no. Sailor is and always will be demon waifu. I'm glad I'm not in fairy tale, because she alone would have been enough to convert a young black magician to the dark side. Forget the Tartarus demons and the threat of the weapon face. I would have been too busy trying to stick my face in between some demon tits. And that, my friends, is why I'll never be a character in a shonen. arguably the meanest female on this list, Aquarius. Sure, she's a celestial spirit, but still, I'd hit that. I mean, if I could find out what part to hit. This mermaid with the power over water has always been nice to look at, but that attitude though, I think she's in need of an attitude adjustment, and I have just the thing to help her. Now that I really think about it, I'd actually be kind of scared. I think she'd take 100% control. Usually that wouldn't be a bad thing, but I think things would get a little too wet. I mean, like drowning wet. She does have a sensitive side though. Even though she acts all big and bad, she can be very loving when it counts. It just doesn't happen too often. And we know she is loving towards her boyfriend, and he's not dead, so I think I may come out of it okay. Bottom line is, even though she's a celestial spirit, she can still have my key, even though I'm still not sure where I'd put it. The Queen of Ice and Grey's mentor, Ursa. I never understood how to pronounce it, but there's just something amazing about Ursa. She dares to be different in a series where 90% of all of the other females are damn near naked by being fully clothed at all times. And you can't lie, she still looks good while doing it. She doesn't have to show off her body to be hot, and that's what I liked about her. Although technically anyone can dive into her because she is now one with the ocean, I do appreciate that she was more reserved and not overly sexualized. Not none levels, but keeping stuff covered up until it's time to get dirty. She's smart, brave, caring, and has a hot body when you really take a look. She's like, in my opinion, the most realistic female in fairy tale in terms of what kind of female you can expect to find in real life. Not to mention she can instantly freeze my ice cream if I take too long to eat it. And that, my friends, is wifey material. The once bad girl turned demon turned good girl, Minerva. Do I have to explain why she is on this list? I think extra effort was put into her design to make her look like the type of female you'd want to wave your magic wand at. Her design just seems different in my opinion, almost Asian. I mean, sure, this is a Japanese manga, but you know what I mean. Okay, yeah, she has been a royal bitch for most of her screen time, but she looked damn hot doing so. I actually prefer regular Minerva over Neo Minerva, probably because Neo Minerva's claws looks like she would give the world's worst hand job. When she was first shown, she was a sexy, seemingly classy villain, mostly covered up in her dress, but damn, you could still see she was packing some serious chest midgets. She is easily one of the most hated females in this series for being so ruthless in the earlier fights, but she did become a good guy and left her bitch days behind her. I can't really blame her though, her father was kind of an asshole. Minerva just wants love, guys, that's all. The oh my god, she's so fluffy, I'm gonna die, Aries. Yes, another celestial spirit is on this list, and I don't know if I should feel bad about this one. I mean, just the idea of being a furry makes me shudder. But hot damn, this is one hot lamb. I mean, there's just something intriguing about this sheep girl spirit. Just imagine how soft she is, oh my god. I've never been attracted to anything with fur, let alone wool, but this little lamb could get it. She's so innocent and soft. She's so fucking kawaii and soft. Okay, I understand the wool is a part of her clothes. I think it is anyway. But still, there's something about super shy hot girls that's a major turn on. It's like you get to teach them whatever you like. And I know I can't be the only one that would tap this goat girl, right? Let's just move on while I still have respect for myself. The Scarlet Beauty herself, Ursa. You knew Ursa had to be on this list somewhere. I think she has given us the most fan service in this series by far. Well, maybe after Lucy. I don't know, it's a close one. She has an outfit / armor for every situation. So I'm guessing she has one for when it's time to get dirty. Everyone is aware of Ursa's features, and they're the real reason her nickname is Titania. Titonia, you get it? I wish it was tit on me, am I right guys? Just imagine having Ursa as a girlfriend. If anyone, and I mean anyone, tried your gangster, she would promptly open up multiple cans of whoop ass because she's Ursa. I have no idea how some of her armor counts as armor though. I mean, normally you wouldn't classify something that shows off so much skin as armor. But hey, it works for me. Man, if I was Jalal, I would have hit that more times than she has suits of armor. And I hear she has quite a lot. The badass quote-unquote demon, Mary Jane. Holy hell is Mary Jane hot. And one of her demon takeovers is Sayla. So it's like having two of my favorite girls in one. Plus all of her other hot demon forms. The thing about Mary Jane is she is very deceitfully innocent. She seems pure and shy at first, yeah. But believe me, you don't want to fuck with her. She probably would act super quiet and embarrassed when she gets to the bedroom. But once it's time to get in the actual bed, let's just say you're probably going to need to pray to whatever God you believe in because shit will go down. And of course I'm going to put her on this list. She's a freaking model in the show, and I think we can all see why. Many people go back and forth on who is hotter, Mary Jane or Ursa. I was actually one of them because they both switched spots on this list as I was finishing it up multiple times, but I had to give the higher spot to Mary Jane. I just feel like she deserves it. The girl with the fiery hair that I'd hate to have to comb, Flare. Now I know she has issues. She was a bad guy and ultimately cheated to beat Lucy and was utterly ruthless in her debut fight, but come on. You cannot argue that Flare is not super sexy. Her hair, her dress, what's under her dress, her psychoticness, if that's even a real word, everything about her yells, she'd rock your world. The very moment I saw her in the anime, I was like, God damn, that's a fine ass drawing. And she seems like she'd be extra kinky when it comes down to the nasty time. I'm talking about all kinds of bondage and inventive shit when it comes to that hair of hers. I think she is the hottest of all the fairy tale villains that have been shown in the anime anyway. Sure, Brandish and Irene are fucking hot, but they haven't been shown in the actual show yet. And it's something about actually seeing the character in motion, bouncing around and whatnot. Just don't ever cheat on her. You may wake up being tortured by hair, which doesn't sound all that dangerous until you remember her hair can fucking kill you. So once you go Flare, you're stuck with Flare. And I'd have no problem with that, even if she is crazy. The female who I wish was obsessed with me as much as she is obsessed with Grey-sama. Juvia Lobster. I mean Lockster. I know I said things could get a little too wet with Aquarius earlier, but that's because she's been shown to be super aggressive. But Juvia is obviously very loving when she has a crush, so I think she'd apply the just right amount of wetness. Who wouldn't want a girl that could literally make any part of her body moist at any moment? Just think about that for a second. Younger viewers, I'll give you a few years. Miss Lobster is obviously a freak. She even told Gray to spank her. I don't know what's going on with Gray, but man, I would have slapped that booty so hard her cheeks would have turned into water. But blue is by far my favorite color, and she rocks it well. Plus, she's the only character in the show that I can think of that basically says she's DTF. Let's get real. If Gray said, hey Juvia, let's do it, she'd be on him ASAP. But all of that aside, she has always been super hot to me for some reason. I don't know if it's her design, if it's her personality, her abilities, I don't know. And I'm sure a lot of you will disagree with me, but Juvia is my #1 fairy tale girl.
Whoa, calm down. I know what you guys are thinking. I know what you're about to yell at me about. Fairy tales, Lucy Heart Failure, the main female of fairy tale, was not on this list. And that's only because I felt like there were already too many fairy tale guild members on this list. She will be on the second part, I promise. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but I didn't want this list to be strictly fairy tale guild members. Because if you count the celestial spirits, that's 6 fairy tale guild members on this list, which makes up more than half of this list, which is
unfair already. So to add Lucy, that would be 7, and then just 3 other people. No, I wasn't finna do that, and I feel like it would have been a cop-out. I want this top 10 to be just females throughout the entirety of the fairy tale series, not the actual fairy tale guild. So Lucy, with all of her big boobed blondiness, will be on the next top 10, I promise. And there's still a whole nother top 10 that I already have written down. Like, that's how many extra females are in this series. It's crazy. But if you enjoyed this discussion, make sure you leave me a like, share with a friend. Give me your input down below. Tell me your top 10, 15, 20, whatever females of Fairy Tail. Make sure you click that notification bell down there and stay tuned to my part 2 of the top 10 sexiest females of Fairy Tail. But it will not be next Sunday. It may be the Sunday after that or even the one after that, because I have so many countdowns I've already written out scripts for. It's crazy. And the next Sunday, I really want to get this one out. It's going to be really, really entertaining, and it's going to touch on the more sensitive side of JB. But anyway, this has been jbDAuchiha. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm out.